Well, welcome everybody to today's bite-sized learning session. We are going to give a little bit of time for people to join as I kind of do the introductions, but if you would go into the chat feature within Zoom, tell us where you are located today, why you decided to attend today's conversation. And today our focus really is on unlocking your potential and how to get involved with TxDLA. So we'll start with introductions. Rhonda, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Rhonda Blackburn, and I am the Chief Information Officer for TxDLA and also the co-chair with Kelly for professional development, and have done a lot of different things with TxDLA, with USDLA, but I love these sessions because I just love to learn the different things and get to hear different perspectives on what people are doing. So welcome.
Thanks. And I'm Kelly Irwin. As Rhonda mentioned, I'm the professional development co-chair with her. I'm currently the director of education solutions with learning.com. We're a kindergarten through 12th grade ed tech company where we focus on really helping students build healthy relationships with technology. I am a second career educator. So prior to jumping in and being a classroom teacher, tech apps teacher, and all of the other things listed, I was in the financial industry as a assistant vice president and loan compliance officer. So we are thrilled to have you here with us today. And let me move that bar out of the way. And without further ado, we are going to keep the process rolling. This is a TxDLA bite-sized learning webinar. We do these every month. Um, and they're always at lunchtime, so hence the reason bite-sized learning. If you haven't been to the TxDLA website, it has been refreshed. We have a new section on the website called Learn. That's where you can find out about the bite-sized learning webinars that are upcoming, as well as have access to our knowledge hub of past webinars, past conference recordings, all sorts of wonderful things on the website. And we will talk a little bit more about membership and things like that as we go through the session today, but I will call out that it's easy to join the organization. It's $50. Again, you have webinars on a regular basis, you have webinar recordings, conferences, and a wealth of phenomenal people with all sorts of different experiences. We'll talk more about that today. So today's bite-sized learning webinar is Unlock Your Potential, how to get more involved with TxDLA. Our next webinar is going to be scheduled for December 11th. So book the date on your calendar. Again, it will be at 12 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. Watch your email for more details. We'll be sending out the title and description and more information soon.
And so we are going to be in that webinar looking at reflection. So as we come to the end of the year, what, we have someone that's going to be here that does that a lot, that really understands reflection and is going to take us through that process. So that's kind of what that webinar is going to be about.
Great. Thanks, Rhonda. We do have our annual conference, and again, we're going to talk more in detail about the conference in a little while, but it is scheduled. Leap to the Future is our focus, really looking at how to ignite digital learning innovations with TxDLA and beyond. That's scheduled for March 30th through April 2nd in Denton, Texas. And then, of course, we have the virtual counterpart that goes along with it, April 22nd and 23rd. So looking forward to that. We're excited. Conference is always an amazing time. Most of you have used Zoom before, so this is kind of housekeeping that you're probably already aware of. And we do record the sessions. These will be hosted on the TxDLA site after the fact. Chat is enabled. Again, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're visiting from today, what you hope to learn from the session, who you are, what your role is, and feel free to engage in chatter throughout the conversation today. And we do monitor chat, so we try to answer questions as we go. All participants are on mute just to make it a little bit easier for everybody to hear. So now, without further ado, let's go ahead and start talking about today's actual session, Unlocking Your Potential, how to get involved with TxDLA. So we have a variety of folks joining us from TxDLA today that have held all sorts of different roles. So we're going to kind of run through our list quickly to share information. So Rhonda, I am going to start with you if you want to kind of give us an overview of TxDLA.
Thanks. Yes. So um, I've actually been part of TxDLA, and I know Mickey has been there longer than I have, but for I think I joined in 99 or 2000, so 24, 25 years. Um, but we've been around for, I want to say 35. I should probably know the exact number. And one of the things that I love about the association is that it doesn't care what constituency people are. So we have people from higher ed, K-12, corporate, nonprofit, military and government. I'm sure I'm missing one out there, but it's really about people that want to understand and connect with others that are doing digital learning. How to use technology, what does that look like? Um, Every year we do have a conference, as Kelly just mentioned, and we also have our fall leadership workshop, obviously in the fall, that happened just a couple of weeks ago, which is a great way to definitely get involved. We're going to talk a little bit more about that when we talk a little bit about leadership within the association. But it's, to me, it's always been a great place to pick people's brains, know what's going on in the field, what's coming new, what's that emerging thing that is happening. So I don't know, I know there's quite a few of y'all on here that's been part of the association for a while. I don't know if y'all have any insights into thinking about TxDLA and what it has either meant to you or what. um,
Sure. So I will say that I joined TxDLA, I think it was in 2008, and I was working in public education at the time. And so this was really my first foray into learning about and understanding digital learning as we were building our virtual school in Pasadena. So it really kind of helped kickstart me into all of the work that I've done ever since.
Yeah, I joined when I was in higher ed. So I was at A&M, and then moved through that. But once even going into corporate, I think it also helped me also transition the thinking between what higher ed is and corporate with when it comes to digital learning.
Thanks for sharing, Rhonda. Francisco, I'm going to pass it to you. Why don't you tell us about our exciting upcoming conference?
Sure. Welcome everyone to this session, and of course, my role is the president-elect for Texas DLA, Rhonda and Kelly were mentioning, and one of the responsibilities of the president-elect is actually coordinate the conference, the annual conference. So there's a little bit of information that I want to share with you. Um, of course, conferences are very important for our own professional development, right? There's a lot of things happening in the digital learning, and attending those conferences, you always get to know other people from the same field that they're also interested in on improving and helping, because at the end what we want is for especially like those who are in education is to have a or students to have a great learning experience through this process. So at this conference, having in mind it's like Rhonda was saying, bringing people together, pick the brains of each other, right? Always doesn't matter if you're in K-12, if you're in higher ed, or even government. We always welcome everybody to this conference. It's been a tradition now, right? This conference has been there for quite some time. I've been fortunate to coordinate this year's or this coming year conference. So I've been learning a lot too during this process. I also want to thank Lisa because she's always behind me and always sending emails and always checking with me what is going on in terms of the conference itself. So it's a good experience. But yeah, the idea is for all of us to be part of this conference. Again, it's gonna be on March the 30th to April the 2nd. This is a face-to-face conference, right? And like Kelly was saying, we also have uh, the virtual part in April 22nd and 23rd. So the invitation, it's here. Please join us. This coming conference topic is the leap to the future, right? Not necessarily go back to the future, but leap to the future. It's a good to ignite digital learning innovation together. It's not that we're bringing the DeLorean time machine on the conference, but there may be some surprises there. So just keep an eye on it. And but again, the invitation is there. The face-to-face conference is going to be in Denton, Texas this year. We're going to be out of Galveston for this year. Again, it's going to be on the Embassy Suites. There is a web page within the TxDLA website that is dedicated just for the conference. I don't know if you can somebody can share that if it's possible. If not, that's fine. But I'm just extending the invitation. Again, Embassy Suite, March 30th, April the 2nd, and the virtual will be April 22nd to the 23rd. We have secured keynote speakers, a couple of keynote speakers for the conference. And of course, there's always a need for volunteers, right? There's always a need, either if you volunteer yourself for preparation, like working with the call for proposals or helping in some of the committees. So if you're interested in being a volunteer for this conference, please send me an email, francisco.garcia@utrgv.edu. And of course, you will be added. You will be added to the list of volunteers. Like Rhonda was saying, call for proposal is going on. The deadline was the 31st, but we extended a couple of weeks. Now the deadline is November 15th. So there's still some time if you're interested on it. There's still time to submit your proposal. And thank you for adding my email on the chat. So there are different tracks in the conference. Of course, we had accessibility, digital accessibility, and universal design, and open source. That's one of the tracks. Administration, leadership policy, professional development, best practices on teaching and learning, on the digital world, student engagements, innovation, and professional development in general. So again, the invitation is here. This is a good way to get involved in TxDLA. Step by step, you don't have to be the commitment can be like getting into it, get to know the conference itself, and then of course you can be more interested. If you're more interested, of course you can also continue supporting this process. I don't know anything else that I'm missing here, but again, the invitation is here. Please, if you are interested in submitting a proposal, we're still accepting those. If you need any help, any support or anything, just email us, contact us, and we'll try the best to get you into this conference.
I have
So
to
if I
say,
remember,
go ahead, Rhonda.
okay. If I remember correctly, when you do the call for proposals, you can say if you want to do it in the face-to-face, the virtual, or you could do it in both. So if someone
Right.
on here is not able to travel for some reason, either they don't have the budget or for other reasons, you can still submit a proposal. We still encourage that because you can be part of the virtual conference as well. So
Thank you, Rhonda.
I was going to
Kelly?
say one of my favorite things about the site that we've created is this button right here, Get My Boss on Board.
Yes.
We have created a resource to help you in encouraging your supervisor to approve budget funding for you to be able to attend the conference. So all sorts of resources there, as well as some snapshots from previous conference that you might be interested in.
Yeah. If you see some of the pictures there, I mean, we have fun. And in fact, having fun is part of the laws, right? That we have
Are the
bylaws.
bylaws, that's
It
right.
is.
Bylaws, yeah. So we always have fun, and we're learning at the same time. I mean, we always do that. So it's a great conference. Really, really, every time I go into the conference, I had fun. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a highlight for me. It's a highlight of the year. I love going to the conference.
Yes.
Even if you've been in the field a long time, you still learn something. You meet new people. Networking, we really try to make sure that there's time for you to network and not just go from session to session to session to session, right? We
Yes.
want that camaraderie between everyone. So even our partners, right? So
Yes.
we love that our partners go to sessions and eat with that, and so they are a member when they come. So and that's another nice thing I think we probably want to add is that when you come to the conference, you are automatically a member for that following year. So it's just part of the
Yes.
conference part is that you become a member for the following year. So.
Great. Thank you for sharing about conference. I am excited and can't wait. It's right around the corner, it feels like already. So the next topic that we wanted to talk about is leadership participation and really how to be involved as a leader in TxDLA. So I'm going to kind of open it up to all of us, really, as panelists to share your different experiences. And I guess I'll start with mine real quick. So as I said, I started in 2008. But it really wasn't until I attended our leadership conference during COVID, which was virtual, that I saw all the possibilities and really got interested in how TxDLA could help my career, but also how I could give back and help TxDLA. So that was kind of exciting, and that's where I started jumping in to work with Rhonda really for professional development. And then once we came back in person, I worked with the conference committee to try to secure our partners and build those relationships. And my experience in leadership roles has just kind of continued along the way.
Yeah, so it's funny because I think the fall leadership workshop that we do every fall is a big, huge way that many, many people get involved. I know Brad got involved that way, and I know Kelly got involved that way. Francisco, you probably got involved that way. But I know I did. So my first one, oh my gosh, I don't even know, 2002, 2000, somewhere around there was my first fall leadership workshop. And um, met amazing people. It's a smaller group, it's more intimate. So you get an opportunity to really sit and talk to people and get to know TxDLA better. At least that's for me. And I think for what Kelly was saying, and really understanding um, kind of the intricacies of how TxDLA works and to see those different parts that you can get involved with because there's so many different pieces. I mean, people like, I love bylaws. Hey, we always need people to look at our bylaws and revise them if they need to. Or I really like finance. So we have a finance committee and we have a treasurer on our board. Um, or even like Kelly was saying, we both do professional development. That's been, I think, part of our careers, our entire career. And so it was like a perfect fit, right? And I think it's a great way that and the conference. I think those two things is one of the easiest and
Yeah.
biggest ways to get involved at the very beginning. And then once you do that, then we know your name and we know who you are and we go after you. But and then you just find your niche. I think that's kind of from everyone that I've talked to, that's kind of they either came in through the conference, either because they were on the conference committee or did a proposal or read for proposals, or they did it through the leadership workshop. I don't know, Brad or Francisco, Mickey.
So I guess both for me. Uh, the conference was my first exposure to TxDLA over a decade ago when I had a prior boss that was doing a presentation down in Galveston, and she needed cables. And so I was, 30-minute drive down to the convention center, and there we go. And so like I was aware of it. I didn't get to attend a conference until 2021. And that was my first face-to-face. And that was when I realized there's people like me out there. There's like-minded individuals to have these conversations with, because sometimes it's so easy to get siloed at your institution and get beat up by the people that are dragging their heels. And so to get a group to work with has been absolutely fascinating. And then my big, I'm not going to call it mistake for anything but a joke of it. My big mistake, of course, was attending the leadership committee, not this year, but the last year, thinking, oh, maybe this will help me be a better leader at college on the mainland. No, that was them roping me into helping with professional development and communications. And that has expanded my work with the group and really given me more opportunity to grow as an individual and as a leader. So yeah, it's been great.
Francisco, what was, oh, Mickey, go, you came off too.
That's okay. I was having trouble getting off mute there. I've been involved with TxDLA since the 90s when I was a dean at Tyler Junior College. And then as we put together, and I think it was really one of the key elements of putting together the Virtual College of Texas right around the turn of the millennium, 1,000 years ago. And the thing that I found useful with TxDLA, both from the conference, from the other activities, has been the networking. So whenever I've been hiring employees, I always looked at my contacts from TxDLA and brought them in. I think most of my employees ended up being officers at TxDLA at some time or the other, if not the chair at times. And so it's just been a good opportunity to do that. The insights that you gain, the people that you get to know are absolutely amazing.
I totally agree.
Okay, now Francisco.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been with TxDLA even for my previous institution, UT Brownsville. I mean, in and out, but now in UTRGB, being a leader at the university, of course, I was bringing my team, and I think it's UTRGV is always well represented in different in all different conferences, leadership, and even the traditional conference, because I want for my team to get involved, right? I mean, it's a great organization. There's a good opportunity to learn from each other, like I said in the past. Uh, it's always good to be here. I've been a member at large for a couple of years, representing you, right? Representing the members, and always good to be in different conferences, different sessions, board meetings. We're always learning, and always having fun. So that's great. So that's great.
I think I will add too, because listening to all of us, most of us have had some type of higher ed or K-12 experience or, been in the ed tech industry. And I think one of my favorite things about TxDLA, and Rhonda, you mentioned this earlier, is our constituency, right? We have folks from government. We have folks from all sorts of different industries, not just ed tech, as well as, higher ed and K-12. And we all come together. It's amazing to me every year when I am in sessions to hear about us all, regardless of our industries, having similar issues with digital learning. And so it really is, to your point, Brad, a great space to kind of find your people. And then you just kind of grow your leadership participation from there. So thanks everybody for sharing your stories. So the next thing we want to talk about today is our TxDLA, not so easy for me to say today, our journal. And so Mickey, I'm going to pass it to you to tell us a little bit about our journal and how to get involved there.
Okay. And I don't know if you can bring it up or if I need to share
Oh,
my
sure, I
screen.
can. I'm not doing very good in my driving job here. There we go.
There you go. TxDLA Journal, we've been going for a number of years now. trying to give us a chance to, initially, we were trying to give an opportunity for scholarly research and publication to our membership, and to have them do refereed articles and get some more activity going on in the distance learning and digital learning research space. My tongue's not working quite right today. And so we were doing that. Over the past 2 years, we've expanded that outreach a little bit. And so we've moved to not just have the research articles, because we know a lot of our folks are just getting into the business of publishing and such, and they aren't necessarily dealing that much in hard research. And so we wanted to give them a chance to share what they're doing. So we've expanded it so that we have articles that are practice, are about the practice, are implementation articles. And then we also have book reviews and technology reviews in there. So several ways to get into writing for the journal. What you're seeing there is the latest issue that just came out at the beginning of the month. And so we had 3 articles this time and 1 book review that we've been working on for a little while. The articles go through a review process. If it's a research article, we bring in 3 reviewers to look at it, doing blind reviews. So the reader doesn't know who the article is from, and the author doesn't know who the readers are, but we pull those readers from you guys. We look at people across the state, and we ask you to go through a little process. We'll have an orientation for you and ask that you've done a little bit of this research and writing yourself, so that you can be involved in this. But we've collected a battery of folks who are willing to do this and put them into operation. On the articles that are dealing more with practice and with book reviews, we have a group of editors that are working with us. And so the editors do that, just a kind of a one-person sign-off on it, but we also take those to the editorial group at large and let them do a review, make sure that it's something that we'll be interested in, making sure and checking the basics you do with your undergrad and grad students, running through a plagiarism check, and make sure there's not too much quotation, making sure it's not an article that's already been published in a couple of other journals, which happens quite frequently. And so we just do that and pull it together. We have created a monthly meeting that we do. That's the TxDLA Journal Club, basically, as a writers club that we get together. We have our editors meeting once a month, but adjacent to the editors meeting, then we have a meeting, and it's mainly folks who are interested in writing, who are trying to get started. It's also people who've submitted articles for us to review, so they can kind of catch up with where we are and things like that in the process. And so that's just been kind of a fun group to get together once a month and get to know each other and share the trials and travails and successes of the writing process. So that's been a good thing. That came out of the annual conference, where we kind of did a workshop at the annual conference doing the same thing. And so some of our folks who attend are writing, some of the folks are readers, and some are just beginners trying to step into the field and keeping up with what's going on. So that's kind of the gist of what we are as the journal. We're looking forward for articles to come in. We try to publish twice a year, and so we'll be working on a new round of reports and articles coming out towards the end of the spring semester.
Mickey, you said about the book club or the writers club. Is that a standing? I used to have it on my calendar, but for some reason I don't anymore. So is that
It's a standing meeting, and if you hadn't asked that, I could have told you the date. But let me see if I can. I'm gonna go off screen here for just a second.
Yeah, and also think about how can people actually, is there a way to sign up for that, or can they just join, or what is that process as well?
They can just kind of come on to the meeting, but if you would email myself, and my email is Mick, M-I-C-K, at Great Plains, GreatPlains.net, and shoot me an email, and I can get that to you. And then Randy McDonald is our operations editor, and Randy is R. McDonald at tamu.edu.
So you said Mick at greatplains.net?
Yes, I'm not this is the sad story of my life, Rhonda. I'm about to not be a residential Texan anymore. So
That's going to be crazy.
that's going to be nuts. So, you're always a Texan in your heart, though. So, but
And
yeah,
you'll notice
I
on
moved to a
the,
new house in Arkansas next month. So,
Wow.
that's exciting. Congratulations.
thank you.
So I'll call out a couple of things since I'm a terrible driver today. On the journal website, you'll notice that we do have a list of our aims and the scope of the journal, the editorial board policies, but the one that I want to really call out is the submission guidelines. This really does give you sort of everything you need to know to be able to go through the process to submit your articles. And then, of course, there's the button to submit your articles. Is there anything else you want to share, Mickey, about the journal, or anybody else for that matter that has something to share?
I am going to get the information here on the next meeting, and I'll put it in chat here in a couple
Perfect.
minutes.
Great. Thank you. Okay, so it looks like we will move on then to professional development.
So, as Kelly and I both said, we are the co-chairs of Professional Development Committee. And there are things that the webinars is one of the big things we do. Once a month, we have a webinar. We always are looking for great ideas for either people that you think would be great to do a webinar or a topic or anything like that. We love those ideas. We also are looking at doing, so we have our accessibility certification and our certificate. And that has been around for a while. And so now we're looking at doing a little bit more with credentialing. So we're going to start doing some micro credentialing. If you are interested in being part of that, or have any ideas of things that you think would be great with micro credentialing. So we're looking at doing advanced accessibility micro credentials. We're looking at doing some AI stuff. We're looking at doing teaching and learning stuff. And I'm being so professional stuff. We're looking at doing stuff. But I don't know, Kelly, you want to?
Yeah, so becoming part of the professional development committee is an easy thing to do. We are always looking for committee members to help us for a couple of years, maybe even longer. Rhonda and I were just doing it on our own. And so having a committee this year has been great because we've been able to bring in new ideas beyond just what our area of expertise is. And so that's kind of a neat group to be able to get involved in. We meet once a month and to talk through planning for the bite-sized learning webinars like you're on today. We did sort of a reorganization to our knowledge center so that all of our past recordings are available to members. So you're able to log in and catch up on information. So I will call out that, I mean, we're going to talk more about membership, but again, it's $50 to join as a member. It's included if you sign up for either virtual, in person, or both conference. So when we look at professional development as an organization, we are a digital learning organization. We do have digital learning. We also have in-person options. So professional development is just a part of who we are and what we do. So again, absolutely go to the website. You can go into the Learn section to get to the Knowledge Center, which is what we're looking at right here, or to the webinars. Under the services section, that's where you can learn more about the Digital Accessibility Certificate program that Rhonda was referencing earlier. And as we continue to build out our micro-credentialing courses, we'll be sharing that information out as well. So Rhonda, if folks want to join us and become part of the committee, how do we want them to reach out and share that information?
Let's put our email addresses inside the chat. Here's mine. And it's funny because Lisa's picture is coming up next.
I noticed that.
Because I'm logged in on her account because she wasn't able to be here today. If anyone doesn't know Lisa Tomcio is our association manager. She is amazing. She's usually on these webinars, but couldn't make it today. And so, yeah, so I logged in. So it's so funny because I did it. I put something in a minute ago. I'm like, but Lisa's not here. Oh, wait a second. That's me. But yeah.
So yeah, if you're interested in being a part of the professional development committee, sometimes it does feel like a company.
We're creating a company.
Please reach out to us, and we're happy to have you join us and join in on the meetings and the plannings. One thing that I will call out that is different, the professional development committee is not in charge of the conference, right? The professional development that happens at the conference is through a unique committee that looks at the proposals that were submitted and really kind of focuses under Francisco's leadership for conference. We will have, I'm assuming, either a session or a roundtable conversation about all of the different committees that are available as part of TxDLA. We usually do that during our in-person conference. So if you're attending conference and you're not quite ready to jump in and assist with professional development today, definitely find us during conference, and we're happy to share more information, talk to you about your different interests and ways to get involved. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, so another thing that we have started, well, I think we started a long time ago, then we stopped and then we started again because Brad has been so amazing. He has these podcasts that he puts together at his institution and he's able to share them with us so we can share. But if anyone is interested also in doing podcast, or I mean, there's a lot of different things. If you think of all the different ways people get professional development, even submitting something for the journal, an article, it's not completely professional, but hopefully people will learn from that as well. So we continually think about different ways to provide professional development to our association. Some things are free, like these webinars that we have. Other thing and the podcast that we put on our website, but other things may cost, like the micro credentialing, just because there's a lot more work and we have to have people that actually go through that and make sure that people are completing it and all that stuff. So yeah, we do have a lot of different things, and we're always trying to think of new things that we can do. Again, I'm on my stuff and things thing this week. I don't know. I can't think of any other words. But
I mean, Rhonda, I gotta laugh. I mean, like, even as we were talking about and working around discussing the podcast and how to post it with Lisa, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and then like professional development writing is apparently my hobby, and I've got all these blog posts that I can share with y'all, and Lisa's like, give it to me. It's so fun. Like, you can contribute to others' professional development just by sharing in my case, sharing my interests, my passions in my writings and with the podcast. And I put my email address out there if you're interested in working on that or being a guest, of course. But I think that's what's valuable for me for TxDLA is, like I mentioned before, finding like-minded individuals, but to have a secondary outlet for all of this knowledge and information that I have is really wonderful, because let's be realistic, here at the college, our faculty are tired of me after 10, 15 years of my stories. And so to get a new audience that I can help contribute to is absolutely one of my favorite parts about this. And everybody that I've worked with from TxDLA just makes me want to keep doing this more and more year after year. I mean, how many more? My new goal is to at least get 2 more possible presentations submitted to y'all before the new deadline. I there's a passion in the group, and that brings out a passion in me, and that's what makes all this exciting. So I'm going to stop rambling now and go back on mute.
Now, and I'm glad you also brought up the blogs. I mean, some of these things are an easy way to participate and get involved. So writing a blog or putting a podcast together or being part of our conference, our the conference committee, or being part of professional development committee. We have, I think we're kind of going into getting involved with TxDLA now, but what
What I was thinking too.
yeah, but if you think about, Kelly mentioned earlier about committees, we have several different types of committees. We have an information committee. As a CIO for TxDLA, that is my committee that I work with. We are hopefully by next summer going to start thinking about revamping our website a little bit. So anyone that loves to do website stuff, come and join me. But I think that committees are a great way, kind of that low-lying fruit, right? It's a really easy way to get involved because it's not just you doing stuff. You're doing it with a group, or you may want to, you wrote a blog or you wrote something and you're like, oh, I want to contribute this to everyone or benefit everyone with that. And I think that those are really easy ways to get involved without a whole lot of commitment, especially kind of one of the things that Brad was saying is that we were talking about with like the podcast, he's already doing it for his institution. And they actually gave us permission to be able to utilize it as well. So if it is something, thank you, Lena, for helping with the website. But just like this, you want to help. And then there's someone else. Beth, yes, we would love to have you help us with the website. And so I think that there are lots, just by talking to any of us on the board or anyone that's on a committee, coming to the conference, I think is the easiest way to do that, because you get to meet, again, network and meet so many people and find out ways to plug in. So that is my 2 cents when it comes to getting.
Well, and I'll piggyback on that. I've kind of been clicking in different areas to show membership, and I wanted to kind of land here on the committees. Rhonda's right. We have a lot of committees, and if you look at this list, I think it's an exhaustive list, but I also feel like there are times at conference that we sort of get together, to Brad's point of finding your people, and we form our own committees, if you will. We form our own groups that eventually turn into committees based on different interests and ideas that we have. It's not a committee, but one of the newer things that we have put into place is a mentor group, right? And so we have mentors and mentees, and that formed out of a conversation that happened at conference. So all ideas are cherished and welcomed through TxDLA. And so that's another piece of the puzzle that is just an amazing way to get involved, is if you have an idea, share it. Brad, I'll pick on you again for a second. You had this idea of a podcast, and we all liked it. And so it just kind of has become a thing, right? So it's just an ever-evolving group that really communicates and collaborates and works together in very unique and supportive ways. Anybody else want to add anything to getting involved in the association?
Yeah, I mean, y'all keep bringing up the podcast, and really and truly, like, what's really fun about that is it's symbiotic, right? I'm giving y'all content, but at the same time, it's a lot easier for me to go to somebody and be like, hey, I'm Brad Dennison. I'm at this college. I'm working with TxDLA now. And so like there's a little more weight. It's helping me get more content, not just for my faculty at the college, but more stuff to give to TxDLA. And so the give and take of it has been absolutely wonderful, just in general with the relationship with y'all. And so being involved, just opening up doors, and it has me excited to get to do a passion project with people that are as passionate as I.
Mhm. That's excellent. Thank you. You know, one thing, Rhonda, we didn't really put this on the agenda, but I'm just going to call it out. We also have awards that are given out at the conference. And what triggered me to think about it was the awards committee. I don't remember exactly where we have them posted on the website, but regardless, we do have awards that go out to folks in the association. They are nominated for different awards from people within the organization. Rhonda has won, let's see, you have Hall of Fame and
Leadership.
leadership.
um,
I don't remember. Anyhow, my point is, with the awards that are available within TxDLA, it is obviously an honor to win or to be nominated for one of the awards, but it's also a piece of the puzzle that adds to your career and career growth. So I just wanted to kind of add that one in too. Before we start the wrap up process, is there anything else that anybody on the panel wants to share, or do we have questions that have come into chat or people that would like to come off of mute and ask us any questions that may have sparked during our conversation today?
Kelly, I'm not sure who's controlling the conference, but Randy McDonald sent me a message a couple minutes ago, said he was in the waiting room.
So I just let him in. It actually said your name
There he
on it,
is.
so I was confused.
Okay, and
But
that was it
but
because I
Mickey
had
should be, I mean, Randy, there he is.
I'm in.
You're there with Mickey's name. I have
Hey.
Lisa's picture. You have Mickey's name. It's great.
I've been called worse.
and I've always wanted to be cloned, so it'd make life easier.
Well, glad you could join us, Randy.
Thank you.
Randy is also one of our past presidents as well. So
Randy,
Any-
anything special that you would like to share with us about your journey towards leadership with TxDLA, or things that really stand out as having the most value for you from working with the association?
Uh, and absolutely. But not to take too long, but I'll just say in summary, being involved with TxDLA has been extremely beneficial to me personally in my career through the associations, different folks that I've met, leadership opportunities, starting with the regional groups and committees. I've learned a ton of, gained a ton of experience and learned a ton of things about how to organize events and how to contribute and work with teams in remote teams. All of that I really learned through TxDLA. And not only has just the technical information and the strategic and policy types of information that I've learned from participating in the events and being parts of the learning communities, but also I found that when I was active and stepped up and took a leadership role, it just introduced me to more resources and more people and opened lots of doors. So I can say for me personally, TxDLA has been a very valuable part of my professional career growth.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, that kind of, you haven't been on the whole webinar, so you haven't heard all of the rest of us say very similar things. So it's really nice that, that you kind of echoed that as well, because it truly is a part of what makes this association, I think, so unique and different from other associations. We are large enough where we can all learn from each other, but we are also, I don't know if small enough is the right word, but we are close knit enough where we are all comfortable communicating and engaging and stepping up and being a part of leadership and moving digital learning forward, not just the association. So, thank you all so much for joining us, participating, being part of this conversation, sharing your stories about TxDLA. We have an exciting future ahead of us, all of us, regardless of which industry we're in. Digital learning is taking new forms and continuing to grow and really making a difference in the entities that we are a part of. So just a reminder.
And so I want to real quickly,
yeah.
Kelly, I want to echo something that you just said that I think is really important. So I think we are a very tight-knit group. A lot of us have been around for quite a while. One of the things that I would encourage anyone that is new or hasn't been as involved as they would like, just squeeze your way in. Just, talk to us and don't be afraid to, I mean, you'll see that there's a lot of us that have known each other for a long time, but we love new people and being able to get people plugged in to where they want to be plugged in. So definitely reach out to us or find us or, talk, just get in there. So I just want to, because, some people are, they're like, oh my gosh, this group knows each other so well. I don't know if I can get in there, but we're very approachable. We love meeting and being with new people. So.
And Beth,
Absolutely. And that's a great call out, Rhonda. I mentioned that I had been part of the organization since 2008, but I didn't get involved until, like I said, like heavily involved in a leadership kind of way until, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And it was just what you said. It was just kind of stepping in and doing it and saying, hey, I have this interest. Where can I fit in the mix? So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So I will call out a reminder. Membership is $50. You can easily access all of the information of the benefits and how to sign up, the FAQs, all of that through the website. Today is bite-sized learning. Again, we'll have another one next month. So you can go onto the website and find out more information under the Learn section. And, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to all of our partners. And, we truly do look at what most organizations call vendors or sponsors. We really call ours partners because they are partners in our journey. They are partners in learning, and they are partners in everything we do. Many of our partners have representatives on our committees. They have stepped up and become part of the organization. So we couldn't do what we do without their sponsorship, but we really appreciate them being more than just the funding behind what we do and being a part of who we are, what we do, how we interact, and how we engage. Leap to the Future is the theme, as we mentioned earlier, for our digital learning conference coming up in March 30th through April 2nd for in-person in Denton, and then April 22nd through 23rd virtually. We hope that you can attend and join us in one place, the other place, or both places for that matter, as we continue to move digital learning forward. Again, I've already mentioned this a couple of times, but membership is easy to join. Visit the website for more details and more information. And then definitely, one of the best ways to just sort of start the process of being involved is following TxDLA on our variety of socials. There are always new articles shared from our partners, from members, information about our webinars, our courses, all sorts of things. And then, of course, the website to reach all of the information in one spot is txdla.org. That's what we have today for you for Bite-Sized Learning. Again, thank you to our panelists for chatting with us about how to get more involved, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully next month. Everybody have a good afternoon. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.